Okay, good morning. Coming to you direct from Vision Expo West, or day 3. Surprisingly enough, it was a busy show. You know, I know there's a lot of companies like yours where there's a travel ban, so we prepared for that. Well, first thing we did, we were kind of expecting a low population show, so we shrunk the booth a little bit, and instead of bringing 6 machines, we brought 2, which I want to show you here in just a little bit. But the other thing we decided to do was bring our studio gear. This way we can create content, we can show you what you are missing. We intended to do even some live stream events, but the show was way too busy for that to really pull all that stuff off. So I thought I would just prepare a little bit of content for you guys, since many of you might have chosen to come but weren't able to. So just a quick briefing on Satisloh. We are getting crushed with orders in 2021. We're sold out till the end of the year. We brought to the booth what's new. So we really have 2 new machines. One was just released on day 1. The other, well, it was unveiled, I should say. And the polisher was trade show released. In other words, the polisher was really available earlier in 2021, so now the hype starts on that. So as you guys know, Satisloh is primarily a core production machine provider. We specialize in generators, polishers, and AR chambers. And that's what I'm going to show you this morning. What we're doing is taking what we do best, our core competency, and we're doing better at it. We're making them faster, more efficient, giving them a better availability, and most importantly, reducing the cost of ownership. So your day-to-day operational cost, we want it to be as low as humanly possible, and we want the machines to run 24/7, right? Because that's generally, we're placing machines in the labs that have multiple machines, and we want them all running continuously whenever that's possible. So let's start with a quick look at a new AR chamber. So we're going to, what we brought was the unveiling of the 380X. So the 380, by the way, is the world's most popular and most used mid-size AR coating chamber. This is actually the 5th version. What started with the 360 modified into the 380, so it's really version 5. However, it is -2, so the 380X-2, 380X was a speed increase, and 2, anytime we have a 2 on our nomenclature, it's basically a second version or a refinement of a core machine product platform. There are, believe it or not, 450 copies of our mid-size AR coating chamber in the global market. So I think it is maybe we have more 1200s, I'm not 100% certain on those numbers, but essentially what we've done is we've made enhancement to add a little bit of capacity in the tooling. We also are trying to make the tooling more flexible. So for the first time now, we can swap from a full-size dome to a sector flip conversion without modifying the machine. So on the fly, if you will. Essentially, we've taken the process time and shaved off another 6 or 7%, I want to say. And at this point in the game, it's not that easy to really find 6 or 7% in speed on these machines. But here are a couple of ways we've done it. So you can see a little bit the Meissner trap. So the Meissner trap has gotten really large now. There's 56% more surface area, as a matter of fact. I'm going to take this down. So with a larger Meissner trap, we have improved the pumping speed. We also have an option on this one to put a gate valve in front of the turbo pump. So again, a gate valve it's an improvement in speed. So we close the turbo pump during the process, or during the roughing process, and we probably gained a minute from that. We've added the ultra-fast venting that we developed for the 1200 DLX2 and added it to this chamber, so we got another minute at the end of the process. We've used a small version of the removable heater You know, generally these machines come with top heaters and they're really only used during bakeout. Well, in some cases. And so when you do a major cleaning, you do a 4-hour bakeout. Well, those top heaters, when they reside in the chamber, they're there for all the time. They're getting oversprayed, they're getting dirty, and they have to be cleaned, right? So it's another device in the chamber that actually adds complexity. So now we have a removable heater system that's on a plug. So when it's time to do the bake out, you put the heaters in, you bake it out, you pull the heaters out, and that's one less thing in the chamber that you have to worry about. Other than that, we've added some cool, we have an extendable mask feature in here now. There are some certain processes that require your distribution mask to change. So we have the ability during the process to remotely do that. I think there's a pass-through in the machine. Also, the same distribution mask is an easy fold away. So we're doing that when you get into service the machine. It's just easier to get in and out. And the ideal scenario is that the chamber door opens and it's closed again in the shortest amount of time. 4 minutes is a pretty good time. I think many customers are in that 6-7 minute turn time. So once again, this is the 380 X2. It is a brand new machine, but is essentially a refinement of our existing core 380. So for any mid-size AR coating needs, we continue to have a viable core machine to get the job done. So the other machine that we brought with us is the Multiflex 2. So the Multiflex was already the highest capacity automated polisher in the industry. And I can say that confidently because there are 3 working chambers. No other machine has 3 working chambers. Essentially, we have added 50% machining or polishing capacity to the platform. Multiflex 2 is a refinement of Multiflex, so everything that was a weak link, anything we didn't really love, we refined in Multiflex 2. So a couple of the basics, I will lift the lid on this bad boy. You'll see all the new Satisloh machines are coming in this format. Did I do something wrong here, Dan? Oh, there we go. Just got to use your muscle. So our existing customers of Multiflex will appreciate this. And we didn't necessarily recognize it when we built it, but the first version has a bar across the front that our customers call the concussion bar because they go to get in there and they're smacking their head on that. So that's been redefined. We improved the overhead loader a little bit. Now, it's important to point out, and I think you guys know this, that when we unveiled the Multiflex in 2017, that was the release of the universal polishing cap. So the universal polishing cap is a full range cap. It goes from Plato to 14 diopters. And not only is it a time saver, but more importantly, it, from a machine design and manufacturing standpoint, it really makes a huge difference because now we don't have to manage the tool. We don't have to store the tool, we don't have to retrieve the tool. All the encoders and grippers and sensors that are involved in managing caps now are removed from the machine, okay? That is huge. It means that the potential fail parts and the wear parts of a polisher with 3 working chambers and 6 tool spindles now has been cut in half. So you guys probably know that the most expensive machine to maintain in the lab is your polishers. It's a corrosive environment, there's a lot of moving parts. So what we've done to DualFlex, the predecessor, when we do studies, it cost a 3-shift operation about 5% of the original cost of the machine every year in spare parts, wear parts and fail parts. Where we cut that thing in half, I'm seeing numbers in the 2% or lower, even on 3-shift operations. So it's a simpler design, much more reliable. And I would point out that, you know, lenses that generated on other people's generators can also be processed through the Multiflex 2. successfully. I do have customers doing that. Although the Orbit 2 seems very popular these days. Okay, so that's a spiel on the caps. So Amy, if you can zoom in a little bit, there are 2 tool spindles, and these caps are placed in the chamber, one in the back, one in the front. And our current highest speed process, it's called top speed. It's a rough polishing followed by a fine polishing. You put the rough tool in the front and the fine tool in the back, and it's a very short transitions. So the machine is running at a run rate of 50 jobs an hour. That doesn't generally result in a real world environment of 50, but we're hitting 45. We're seeing real DVI reports from customers at 45 jobs an hour. Okay, a couple more features on this. Now, on the loader bed side, we hold 4 trays on the loader bed. We pull and put out of 3 of them with the overhead gantry. Simple overhead gantry with two hands. One for the finished part, uses gripper, and one for the raw part, uses a suction cup. It's not just a polisher, but it's also a lens washer and dryer, and with the 2, we've made this system way, way better. So not only does it clean and dry both the lens and the block better, but it's also more reliable. Lenses, if they have less tendency to get jammed and potentially fall. And so anyway, over time, like anything, you can improve once you break something and then you improve on it. So there's a new, I think it's called a Hydro Boost wash station as standard. Also in the show special that we're selling this machine, we got a price for the one with tool wear monitor and one without. So it's an optional add-on. Most are choosing to have it. The tool wear monitor is a camera and a laser system that's under the doors in front of each chamber. So at a predetermined cycle, the spindles come forward, they lay back, we evaluate it, and it's not just a good or bad, but it grades the tool. So we grade the wear based on section or region of the tool, if you will. The caps, by the way, are lasting now 18,000 seconds. So when you turn that around, what it means is if you load all your caps, if the machine doesn't stop, it doesn't require an operator, you got 4 hours worth of production before it's time to come over and pay attention to the condition of your polishing tools. Yeah, so that is the Multiflex 2. You can see the other thing is that we're putting everything in this format, and we're really doing a good job of making everything much more accessible. Every cabinet, every panel on the machine is a swing away. So, the customer experience is better now when your maintenance person or whoever, when they do have to get in there, they're not going to be complaining quite as much because they can't reach their hand, right, to get around it. We don't have to build a special tool just to get to a screw. And I think that's pretty much it on the Multiflex 2. So we're really proud of this machine. There's nothing like it. It's a differentiator for Satisloh. Right now it's at 45 jobs an hour, real world in big production environments. That can and will get faster even. But it puts Satisloh in the unique position of having a one-to-one generator polisher, right? Because the Orbit 2 got faster. Orbit 2 is really 50 jobs an hour now, and we're right there with the polisher. So instead of a 1-to-2 or 1-to-1.5, we really have a 1-to-1 scenario generator to polisher. So that's all I have to show you today. I'm hoping to get into the lab soon. Come see you guys. Yeah, and if you guys, call me. Send me a note. Got any questions? We're here for you. Love to talk about stuff anytime, any day. And that's it. That's your live update from Vision Expo West Day 3. Sorry you couldn't be here, but that's what I'd had for you anyway. That's it. Thanks, guys. We'll see you.